Chicago. They believe the reason he staged this hoax was because he was dissatisfied with his salary. And we have varying reports. Some say he was making as much as $65,000 per episode, while others say it could be upwards of $125,000.
Coming.
He did not, nothing was out of bounds. There was nothing that I could not ask. The police have said he's been consistent, that he has been credible, that he has been cooperative, and the investigation is ongoing.
I see the attacker masked, and he said, "This MAGA country," punches me right in the face. So I punched his back. And then we started tussling. You know, it was very icy. I noticed the rope around my neck, and I started screaming. "There's a rope around my neck!" I started screaming. Screaming. Screaming.
Yeah, but what are you going to do about it? I'm going to finish my sandwich and wait 40 minutes. I mean, wouldn't you do the same thing?
Two years later.
Jussie Smollett. Did you see this one coming? The intersection of Jussie Smollett on trial right now and Don Lemon. Yesterday, he testified, Smollett, that he got text messages from Don Lemon, supposedly relaying that the Chicago Police Department didn't believe Smollett's accounting of what happened. And at the time, Lemon told his viewers that the story was personal, since they were acquaintances and they had texted after the alleged 2019 incident. What to make of this?
It's like watching the whole Cuomo episode now replay itself with Don Lemon. Ooh. He tipped off somebody who was under investigation about the Chicago Police Department not believing his story. And that prompted Smollett, according to Smollett, for whatever that's worth, to withhold evidence, such as his phone and those records. So now CNN needs to address this next. But of course they haven't, because they don't do so until they absolutely have to. And you have to wonder, Harris, while all this is going on, what the top shareholder in John Malone of Liberty Media is thinking, because now he's the top shareholder of CNN, because he recently said CNN needs to get back to journalism. He praised Fox News for its journalistic performance in the process, and said CNN, yeah, I know, that was interesting. He did so on CNBC, so it's, you know, it's all crazy. Yeah.
Just real quickly, your last thought on where this goes now, because, you know, Don Lemon can say, well, I was just trying to buddy up so I could get the booking of this person for an exclusive interview or something. I mean, but when you talk about receipts, when you have those text messages, your last word.
Yeah, well, the problem is that he told Smollett what he heard from his sources within the Chicago Police Department. So it's no longer like I'm trying to help a friend. You're trying to affect an investigation. This is serious stuff. So this isn't the last time this is going to go away. And I think many changes are going to be made at CNN, both in front.
Later.
The alleged hate crime attack in January 2019 to make it look like a more serious lynching. However, he did tell jurors that he took that news off at one point, but put it back on before police got there because he and his manager agreed that police should see the evidence. He later said right after that it looked less like a noose once he had put it back on the second time. Smollett was also asked about why he didn't turn his cell phone over to police in the initial investigation after the alleged hate crime attack, and the prosecutor specifically pressed him, asking if it was because he was worried that it would show extensive communications with Bola Osundero in the days leading up to the alleged hate crime attack, and Smollett simply said no, because at that point Bola was not a factor in any sort of issue at the time, Don.
You know, it's really risky to put a defendant on the stand. Why did the defense do that, and what were they trying to prove, Omar?
Well, for one, they were trying to push back on some of the major points in the prosecution's case. For one, they went back, or Smollett took jurors back to the car ride where the Osundero brothers had testified was when Smollett first brought up this alleged scheme, and the defense attorney asked him if that's what happened, and Smollett said no, all they did was drive around and smoke blunts. Now, when the defense attorney specifically pushed in and said, at any point in time, did you talk to Bola Osundero about a hoax? He answered emphatically no. And Smollett said that he would do this routinely, drive around smoking, sometimes do it by himself. With Bola, too many times to count, were his words. And then separately, after an alleged hate crime letter was sent to Empire Studios about a week prior, Smollett said he was offered security but refused it. And the reason that's important is because the prosecution has argued that one of his main motivators for allegedly staging this hate crime was because he believed Empire wasn't taking the threats against him seriously.
So Smollett he said that, he testified, I should say, that he hired the other Osundario brother to be his trainer. Am I correct? But he repeatedly asked to also be his security guard. What point was he trying to make there?
That's right. So this goes back to the point of when the alleged hate crime letter was received. And Smollett testified that Bola had previously asked Smollett to be his security, so much so to the point that